Good morning. My name is Marvin Lyman. I am the director of the Denver CARES Act Assistance Program that actually is run by the Denver Minority Business Development Agency. We are, the Denver MBDA is actually operated by the Mountain Plains Minority Supplier Development Council. We are pleased to have each of you here today. The Denver CARES Act Assistance Program is focused primarily on assisting small businesses, not just minority-owned businesses, but small businesses in general, to help them through the COVID pandemic. So while we know that many of us have had to pivot and face lots of challenges during this trying time, we are here to make sure that small businesses and organizations are getting information to help them survive and thrive. We are fortunate that we have inked a very strong partnership with the National U.S. India Chamber of Commerce, and whose mission is to build bilateral trade through business relationships. And this organization is led by none other than Purnima Boria. Purnima is a member of the 2006 Presidential Business Club. She is recently appointed to the 2005 Presidential Business Commission, and she was also the honorary chairman for the National Republican Congressional Business Advisory Council, featured in the Wall Street Journal in 2005. Also, Purnima, for the National U.S. India Chamber of Commerce, got a letter on September of 2005 from the India Prime Minister in support of the Chamber's effort to promote Indo-U.S. relations and business opportunities. With a stellar community service record, she is a prototype example of a person willing to devote her time and energy to the betterment of our community, and has been affiliated with several organizations locally, nationally, and internationally. So please help me welcome our friend and partner in this 2021 Water Technology and Wastewater Management Summit, Purnima Boria.
Namaste, good morning to everyone in the United States, and good evening to everyone in India. It is such a pleasure to host a very high-level engagement with the Cabinet Minister of India for water resources, river rejuvenation, and he is stuck in traffic of Kolkata. He just landed, so that is the reason we are going to delay his participation just by 5-10 minutes. In the meantime, I want to thank Marvin, MBDA, for partnering with us, also Global Chamber of Commerce, to partner with us in this very important endeavor. One thing that I would like to say is that National U.S. India Chamber of Commerce does a very simple thing, promotes bilateral trade between United States and India. And if the slides are there, if we could put those on, please. But let me just say that we are serving all the US states of United States, as well as all the states of India. We help small, medium, and large corporations with government and business relationships that often results in business deals. MBDA is a United States federal agency, and we have a center right here in Denver, Colorado, who we are partnering with. We have been also advisor to United States Secretary of Commerce, the NUICC, for growth and policy making of 13 million minority businesses of US, which is $1.3 trillion economy of US. I would like to now not take too much time, but introduce a very important guest that is with us today, and that is our very own Deputy Chief of Mission at the Embassy of India, and his name is His Excellency Sudhakar Dalela ji. And let me tell you a little bit about him. Sudhakar ji is a friend and has been a long standing in the Embassy of India as a political minister and so forth. But today, he is the Deputy Chief of Mission for the Embassy of India in Washington, D.C. Sudhakar Dalela joined the Indian Foreign Service in 1993. He began his diplomatic career in Tel Aviv, Israel, where he also acquired proficiency in Hebrew. He has since served an Indian mission in Brasilia, Chicago, Geneva, Dahlia, Dhaka, and Washington, D.C. This is his third assignment in the United States. He previously served as the Minister of Political Affairs at the Indian Embassy in Washington, D.C., and most recently as India's Consul General in Chicago. Ambassador Dalela has served in critical roles in New Delhi, including Director in the Prime Minister's Office, focusing on India's engagement with the South Asian neighbors, China, and countries in the Indo-Pacific region, Gulf, Middle East, Africa, and as Joint Secretary North, overseeing India's relations with Bhutan and Nepal. These are the bordering countries of India. He brings a wealth of experience in trade and economic policy into his role, having served twice at the Permanent Mission of India to the WTO, including as India's Deputy Permanent Representative. I would like to now welcome our Ambassador Dalela to say a few words on US-India relations as well as the water technology and waste management opportunities with India. Welcome, Dalela ji.
Thank you very much, Purnima ji. Honorable Minister for Jal Shakti, Water Resources, Government of India, Shri Gajen Singh Shekhawat ji, the CEO and founder of National U.S. India Chamber of Commerce, Mrs. Purnima Voria, eminent experts and business leaders from waste and water management sector, and all the distinguished participants. Very good morning to all of you, and good evening for colleagues and friends who are joining from India. Thank you very much, Mrs. Purnima, for your kind words and very generous introduction. It is indeed an honor for me to participate at the 2021 Water Technology and Waste Management Summit. I would like to thank the National U.S. India Chamber of Commerce, who has worked with the Denver Minority Business Development Authority and the Global Chamber of Commerce in planning this summit on these important themes of water technology and waste management. For over 15 years, the National U.S. India Chamber of Commerce has been active in forging stronger trade and economic ties between India and U.S. Both we at the embassy in Washington, D.C. and our consulate in Houston have been working closely with the Chamber and all its members, and we deeply value the contribution that the Chamber is making in advancing U.S.-India partnership and U.S.-India friendship. Friends, strongly rooted in our shared values and excellent people-to-people contacts, India-US partnership have expanded steadily over the last 2 decades through the visionary foresight of our political leadership in both our countries. Our partnership enjoys strong bipartisan support both in India and in US. We today have a very comprehensive global strategic partnership, and we collaborate in every sphere of human activity that you can think of. Today, our partnership is exploring new horizons in areas such as agriculture, health, education, energy, frontier science, space sciences, innovation and knowledge partnership, business, defense, and security. At the same time, India and US are also working closely on regional and international issues of global significance, be it fight against terrorism, cooperation in the Indo-Pacific, climate change, or cybersecurity. The Indian American community has played and continued to play a very critical role in crafting India-US partnership. They have been a bridge of understanding and friendship between our two countries. And I think Mrs. Purnima Voria represents that part of the community who has been trying to build bridges and foster partnership and friendship between our two countries. And I also noticed from the list of participants that I can see on my screen that there are many eminent community leaders who are active in the business and in these two areas joining this webinar today. So I really would like to place on record their contribution in really strengthening our partnership between our two countries. While we continue to confront the COVID-19 pandemic, the Government of India has taken a series of major reforms to both reinvigorate the economy, and provide a social safety net to our vulnerable population. We need to ensure that small businesses prosper and create value and wealth in our society. We need to attract investments. We need to build our physical and digital infrastructure. We need to create new opportunities in the economic area and create jobs, scale up our national capacities by increasing the competitiveness and quality of Indian manufacturing, and continue to lift people out of poverty. This is also the aim of Atmanirbhar Bharat, a self-reliant India, a program that has been launched by my Prime Minister last year. A self-reliant India will be a one which is fully integrated with the world economy and global supply chains. We indeed have a bold vision for India's development. India's young and talented workforce is gearing up for playing a major role in driving economic progress and development. US is our most important partner in realizing our developmental goals and building a new India. Our economic and innovative partnership, which we are discussing today, is one which is full of possibilities and untapped potential. I would say sky is the limit in terms of bringing our two countries together on the trade and economic front. With increasing urbanization and increasing population pressures, the world, including India, is facing the challenge of water security, water scarcity, water pollution, and waste management. Our government has therefore is laying strong focus on water and waste management in a very holistic manner. Integrated water management is critical for poverty reduction, environmental sustenance, and sustainable economic development. And it is imperative that government, businesses, and local communities come together to promote sustainable water use and look at the better waste management practices. Government of India has launched very ambitious Jal Jeevan mission, which aims at providing household functional tap connections to every rural household in India by 2024. My government has also launched the Jal Shakti Abhiyan, a campaign for water conservation and water security. It is an initiative built on citizens' participation and collaborative efforts focusing on water conservation, rainwater harvesting, renovation of traditional water bodies, reuse of water bodies, watershed development, and intensive afforestation. By leveraging science and innovation, India is focused on creation of wealth from waste. And this is in line with the Swachh Bharat mission or Clean India mission that our government is pursuing for the last few years, focusing on waste management and bringing cleanliness in our daily lives. Similarly, we have a very strong flagship program called Namami Gange, which is an integrated conservation mission to accomplish the twin objectives of pollution abatement and rejuvenation of Ganga River, which is, as some of you would know, is the lifeline of North and Eastern India. Both the water and waste management market in India, to my mind, is set to grow rapidly, offering opportunities for international partnerships. Technological and innovative solutions, including digital information and analytical systems, will play a prominent role in India's quest for management and governance of water resources as well as water infrastructure. Given the immense needs and opportunities in India for injecting new technologies and investment in waste and water management techniques and sector, and given the US strength and expertise in these two areas, I invite the private sector and different institutions in US to partner India in technology, investments, and best practices in these sectors. All in all, I believe that there are immense opportunities for collaborative tie-up between the private sector of two countries in the water and waste management sector of India. And I'm confident that today's deliberations will facilitate those connections in the area of businesses and innovation and technology linkages in these two sectors and really forge new partnership in this very important sector for both India and US. With these words, I once again thank the Chamber of Commerce for inviting me to participate in this webinar today, and I look forward to very productive discussion in the next 1 or 1.5 hours. Thank you very much.
You're on mute, Purnima.
I am so sorry, I was on mute. So thank you so much, Ambassador. And what a pleasure to have you. Not only did you tell us about US-India relations, but you also told us about a very important ministry, which is Jal Shakti ministry, and gave us a good idea of what US companies can look forward to join hands with Indian companies. And you gave us a very good overview. And I'm sure the minister, the moment he joins in, which should be any minute, he's also going to elaborate on some of that. And and of course, everyone acknowledges your presence. We are so grateful, and we hope that we can partner with you in future too, and invite you over and over. In Chicago, everyone knows you, but we want you to be known in mountain region as well. So
Yeah, I've already joined.
after COVID, we are going to get together. So thank you very much again. I'm going to
Yeah.
go with the program and introduce our next speaker, Susan Moiseo, very important company, Jacobs. I think it's almost $15 billion worth. A company that is very well known to India because they used to be CH2M before and did a lot of work with water in India. They also were overseeing the GVK airport, which is a very important, beautiful airport in Mumbai. So we do know Jacobs very well, at least in India, and they are known well worldwide. Susan is a global director of Jacobs Water. In this role, Susan leads Jacobs' team for more than 6,000 drinking water and reuse water resources, conveyance and storage, wastewater and industrial water visionaries, and doers of to develop innovative, sustainable technology-enabled solutions for the world's water challenges. Jacobs' water team is committed in providing industry-leading infrastructure, digital, and environmental expertise to address complex challenges across drinking water, wastewater, desalination, conveyance, and flood control challenges. With all the Jacobs One Water approach to water management, looking at their work as a complete system. Susan is a technology fellow with more than 30 years of experience in capacity of assessments, systems integration, and flow analysis. She joins Jacobs in 2005 and experience in wastewater planning and capital project execution, including 16 years of Cincinnati Metropolitan Sewer District, named as one of the top 40 influencers in water industry by Global Intelligence magazine. Without further ado, I would love to hear from Susan more about Jacobs, more about what they are doing in India, and I believe they do have a presence in India in some capacity. So, Susan, welcome to our
Thank you.
forum, and thank you for accepting. I know you're very busy, but thank you so much. Please, the floor is yours.
Purnima Gajendra Bhai just joined.
Oh, do you mind, Susan,
I
if I
do not mind at all. Please.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Hey, this Arun. Yeah. Welcome, Gajendra Bhai. Yeah.
So finally, we were able to get our high-level engagement with the Cabinet Minister of India, and although I don't see him, can we put him on the screen,
But I
please?
can see you, Purnima ji.
Okay, good. So thank you so much, Minister, for
Few
joining.
minutes ago, and I have listened the speech of our ambassador of India to the United States.
Okay, I can't see your full face. Looks like you need to adjust your camera a little bit. I can see your beautiful smile. Perfect. A little bit more. Little
Now
bit
it's
more.
okay.
A little bit more. Yeah.
Little bit more. Just make it down. I still can only see up to your eyes. So let's see your beautiful hair too.
We just like to see your hat, all the vision from where it is coming.
Okay.
So let me say that to me, His Excellency Gajendra Singh Ji Shekhawat is not just a cabinet minister in the Modi ji's leadership, which is the Prime Minister of India. He was one of the chosen few appointed to a very important ministry to lead India out of the water crisis. And I admire his work and have been for many, many years. But here I would like to introduce him as a dear friend and someone that I'm a big fan of. So
Yeah.
Gajendra Singh Shekhawat is is, Union Minister of Jal Shakti, Government of India. Jal Shakti Ministries from 2019 till responsibilities for conservation, development, management of water resources, revitalization, rejuvenation of pollution abatement in the river Ganges basin and other river basins. Overall policy planning, funding, and coordination of programs of drinking water and sanitation in the country, interlinkages of rivers, aquifer mapping, groundwater recharge, treatment and reuse of the grey water, encompasses disputes in international and interstate water bodies and the rivers responsible for Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Clean India campaign. Union Minister of the State of Agriculture too. So water and agriculture goes hand in hand. So just so you know, he has extensive background in water because he was also agriculture minister previously, maintaining food security and increasing the agriculture product export through research and extension for crops, livestock, fisheries, and marine products, implementation, e-national agriculture market, ENAM, effective implementation of Kisan Samman Nidhi and Pradhan Mantri Prasad Bima Yojana. Fasal Bima Yojana, I'm sorry. A flagship scheme for crop insurance and the vision doubling the farmers' income, capacity building of farmers for primary processing and increase of agriculture products, elected as a member of parliament from Jodhpur, Rajasthan. And I might add, I am from Rajasthan too, so therefore the connect. May 2014 to 2019 and 2019 to present, serving as a member of Parliament, Chairperson Fellowship Committee, Lok Sabha Standing Parliament Committee for France, Joint Committee on the Enforcement of Security Interest and Recovery, etc. So I know that we lost a little bit time, so I would love to present you, Minister. Welcome His Excellency Gajendra Singh Ji Shekhawat to United States via this webinar.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Purnima ji. And I think now the introduction formalities are over. So you can again request Susan, who we have interrupted. She was just about to start her speech. So let us first listen her, and thereafter, whenever you'll give me the chance in the webinar to speak or sum up, I'll be happy to there and contribute whatever I can. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I know people are waiting to listen to you, but we'll adhere to your instructions and your demands, so to speak. And let Susan speak now. Susan is with Jacobs, as I mentioned before. Susan, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and looking forward to hearing all of the speakers present. Thank you for inviting me. Just a procedural question. Are you going to show my slides while I'm talking?
I think
okay. I don't have very many slides, so I will be brief, but I do thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm Jacobs Global Water Director. Next slide, please. And just a little bit about Jacobs. We are a global company, 55,000 folks across the world, including India, and 40 countries, 400 offices, $13 billion in revenue. Next slide, please. The thing, though, that we're most proud of is our water team. And our water profile looks at water as one water. We look at it as from not only stormwater, rainwater, groundwater, drinking water, but we look at it from a full water cycle. Next slide, please. Some of the things that I wanted to share with you all today is, as we look at water as one water, our team is tasked, and we love this job, to bring solutions to complex problems that the world is facing today. And I believe some of the discussion has already been about water scarcity, or issues with water quality. There are issues with too much water. And so the way that we do that at Jacobs is we have a global solutions and technology team. And my water team is 70 persons across the world on both a global and a regional basis. And we think globally, but we act locally. And so I wanted to share this slide with you because it shows the not only the solutions teams that we focus on, but the core technologies that we focus on. And that enables us to have global connectivity and to explore and understand global problems, but also to bring all of that to bear on something that is local. Next slide, please. And I'd like to just share one thing that we have been working on during COVID. And this is something that I personally worked on. When COVID hit, our teams, our wastewater teams and our conveyance and storage teams worked with the teams at Jacobs that manage the operations of wastewater treatment plants across America. And we focused on 70 of those locations and tested the wastewater for the presence of the virus. And what we wanted to be able to do is to understand if we could find the presence of the virus. And then we partnered with labs to be able to understand, could we develop a methodology to show a trend, either up or down? This is very important, we believe, during COVID, but we also believe that it's going to be very important as we go forward into the future, because our worry is that COVID is the first of many issues like this. From a Jacobs standpoint, we're proud to be water people, but when we look at something like what is happening with COVID, what we actually think we're strongest in is working across Jacobs and working with our health teams, our environmental teams, our transportation teams, and our digital teams to look at something that may be waterborne. It may be something we can test in the water, but it takes the whole team to provide solutions. So thank you again for having me here, and I'm looking forward to the discussion.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you so much for letting us know about Jacobs. What a wonderful presentation. I would like to move on to the next speaker, who is Christoph Gorder, joined Charity Water in 2012. Before I do that, Minister, would you like to speak now? I'm sorry, His Excellency, I lost track. Tajinder Singh ji? Minister, are you there? Okay, so Christopher Gorder.
He's there, he's on mute.
Is he? Okay. Minister, would you unmute yourself, please? Would you like
hello.
to speak now?
Yeah, now I can speak, because at that time I thought since you have already announced the name of Ms. Suzanne, and I should not because I have joined later and you came to know, and that suddenly you have just stopped her from speaking. So I thought it's not good.
Well,
thank you very much for organizing this Indo-US Water Technology and Waste Management Summit. And present here in the summit, Ambassador of India to the United States, Shri Taranjit Sandhuji, National U.S. Chamber of Commerce founder and CEO, and my friend, Ms. Purnima Boriaji, Chaos Act Director, Ms. Marvin Lyman, Global Water Director at Jacobs, Ms. Susan Moisio, Chief Global Water Officer at Charity Water, Mr. Christopher Gorder, President of Genesis Systems, Mr. Steve Kwas, Chief Programs Officer, Water for People, Mr. Mark Dewey, Founder Swift Green Filters, Mr. Ramesh Suriji, and my friend Arun Mundraji. Thank you all for inviting me to this webinar organized on the subject of water technologies and waste at the output. I would like to express heartiest congratulations to the newly elected 46th President of America, Mr. Joe Biden, and the people of America. The world is closely watching the relationship between two great democracies, oldest one and the largest one, America and India. We are assured that the United States under President Biden will scale new heights in every field, At the same time, I'm hopeful that efforts of both the United States and India towards global peace and security will prove to be the most meaningful. I would also like to convey my best wishes to newly elected Vice President of America, Madam Kamala Harris. It is a matter of great pride for both India and US to see the first female Vice President of America being of Indian origin. I think Purnimaji must be very happy for this. This is indeed a historic milestone, and I'm sure it will help further strengthening the relationship between these two nations. Dear friends, it was predicted that the Third World War is going to take place over water. I feel it may be a debatable issue, but people who refuse to understand the seriousness of the situation will do well to acknowledge that such predictions are not without strong evidences and basis. Water-related statistics are shocking indeed. They also represent a tragic shift away from our traditional and cultural practices of respecting water and the sources of water. Water held a sacred place in our ethos. River, ponds, wells, step wells, and water bodies used to be revered and voluntarily maintained through participation of the people. But as population moved away from the sources of their water, we became indifferent to them and started polluting them, knowingly and sometimes unknowingly. While we continued to misutilize, pollute, and waste water, it didn't even strike us that there might be a possibility of a future without water. Friends, water security is one of the most pressing issues of our time. World over governments, societies, organizations, non-profit organizations, and global bodies are working towards preventing a calamity. People across the world and in many regions of India face the curse of depleting potable water in their native lands. It has forced many of them to flee from their places of birth seeking water security. Ecological refugees because of water-related crises are growing at alarming rate. The security of food and healthy social and economic fabric is unimaginable without water security. Former Prime Minister of India, late Atal Bihari Vajpayee, had adopted a futuristic vision. I am pleased to share with you that Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, taking inspiration from the veteran statesman, has dedicated himself to finding solutions for water-related issues in India. To do so on war footing, the reformative government under the leadership of Honorable Modi ji formed the Ministry of Jal Shakti in 2019 when he came into power for the second term by integrating a couple of ministries and various departments dealing in water and sanitation. The scope of the ministry was further expanded to include resolution of international inter-state water disputes, objectives of providing safe drinking water, overseeing the challenging Namami Gange project, and the mammoth task of cleaning Ganga and other rivers, tributaries and sub-tributaries in their respective basins, and to make India a water-secure nation. The Prime Minister entrusted me with the responsibility of the Ministry of Jal Shakti since its formation. The Ministry of Jal Shakti has been dedicatedly undertaking water conservation efforts and trying to provide it across the country access to safe water supply for every Indian. Water-related issues are not only domestic in nature. The interconsidence of Earth systems make it transitional issue. Jal Shakti Ministry is designated body to provide focused attention on water diplomacy as well. Dear friends, India is number one in groundwater exploitation, followed by the United States and China. India uses about 1 times more groundwater than the US and China does. We can all agree that amid climate change and the over dependency upon the groundwater, deepening water crisis around the world. In coming times, the idea of a prosperous country will be one which is water secure. That is, the more water in the country saves today, the more powerful it will emerge in the future. I would like to mention that United States World Water Development Report, which predicts that around 6 billion people of the world will not have access to drinking water by the year 2050. However, we in India have understood the seriousness and depth of the problem and is working towards water secure future for the coming generations in India. Prime Minister Mr. Modi, since his last term, have taken and successfully implemented various initiatives to bring quality in the life of common people. We are proud that we have successfully achieved the open defecation free status as desired under Sustainable Development Goal 6 of United Nations mandate, and that too much before the targeted date of 2030. Further, PM Modi have envisioned an India where every household has functional tap water by 2024 to again achieve the target mandated by Sustainable Development Goal 6. To achieve that, he announced the Jal Jeevan Mission with an assured budget outlay of United States USD 50 billion from the ramparts of the Red Fort on August 2019. I would like to mention here that only 32.3 million rural households, less than 70% of total 190 million households, were having tap water connections, despite all efforts by the state and union governments in last 7 decades. But today I am happy to share that in last 1 year, only we have successfully added more than 33 million, even when the world came to a standstill due to coronavirus pandemic. 100% tap water installation has been already achieved in 2 states, Goa and Telangana. Rejuvenation and cleaning of our holy river, as mentioned by our ambassador, one of the biggest river rejuvenation program in the world is again a success story, which is near the completion. It was taken in a mission mode under the title Namami Gange. Now we are further extending the same for other rivers with a basin approach. And this also is a multi-billion United States dollars program, and thus an opportunity to the technology providers and the investors as well. I would also like to talk to you about the Atal Groundwater Scheme, the $1 billion scheme, which was launched to strengthen an institutional infrastructure of the water conservation sector and to manage groundwater resources in India. For the first time, we have started working with the perspective of demand side management with community participation. This program is time-bound program and with the assistance from the World Bank. Friends, in keeping with the summit's theme of technology in water conservation, I am happy to share the kind of technologies that India has adopted. The Ministry of Jal Shakti has embarked on the journey to find solutions to improve the groundwater situations in India using modern technology. For early mapping of our aquifers and underground water resources, advanced heliborne geographical survey and scientific studies for high-resolution aquifer mapping and management in the drought-prone region of northwestern India have been initiated, and it's again an opportunity for the technology providers throughout the world. With the help of GIS-based technologies, survey will be conducted starting from 100,000 square kilometer of drought-hit regions of Gujarat, Rajasthan, Haryana initially, and further will be used over 400,000 square kilometers across the country. Dear friends, we all are aware that dams are not only a source of power generation or water reservoirs, but they also work as a tool of water conservation and flood mitigation. India ranks 3rd in the world in the number of dams, while China and USA are ranked 1st and 2nd. Respectively, we are poised to further strengthen the safety and security of dams, for which the Dam Rehabilitation and Improvement Program is taken by my ministry at the cost of US dollars 2 billion, and it has the World Bank assistance and an opportunity for the global players. After the initial success of sanitation mission and achieving the ODF status a second round of mission was launched in March 2020 for the complete sanitation for rural India, with creating a solid and liquid waste management in all the villages. This again is a 30 billion program and will span under the mission and will be completed by 2024. It is again an opportunity for the players in the sanitation industry. Since the scope of water sector in India is expanding rapidly, I would like to talk about the immense investment opportunities in various related sectors, with special focus on development of infrastructure for water supply and management of contaminated water in India. I'm confident that United States and India can have fruitful partnerships in this sector. According to UNICEF report, by 2050, the total population of India is expected to increase to 1.6 billion. Every individual needs water and we are committed to providing it. In view of this, it is evident that opportunities for investment in the water sector in India will only grow and grow. The India water sector is estimated to become a 100 billion industry by the year 2030. It has vast investment potential in areas such as public-private partnerships for equipment supply, water filtration and distribution, water treatment plants, and companies involved in EPC, businesses and integrated water resources management for utilities. Desalination, wastewater treatment, industrial effluent treatment, and water management is again an area where the investors can look in. I'm happy to share that many private players have already made headway in this direction, are making meaningful contribution to the society. Water is life, and we all are aware of its importance. India's share in the global population of 17.5%, but we only have 4% of the potable water. We are most dependent on groundwater, as I have already said, in the world. Given the importance of the water, there is an urgent need to create a strong and integrated approach of its management to achieve the water security, and partnership is the key of success in this area. At the end, I would like to mention that the world is watching the transformation happening in India under the leadership of our beloved Prime Minister Modi ji. With political will and public participation, I request you all to come along and steer the direction of development and progress towards a more sustainable future. With your resources, with your skill, and with your experiences, I strongly feel that water is not an issue for the individuals, or for any nation in particular. It's a global challenge, and everyone on the earth is going to get affected directly or indirectly. We all shall have the responsibility. It is our primary role and duty is to ensure that we create a world where even the future generations may enjoy the abundance of nature. Thank you very much. Thanks again, Purnima ji. Vande Mataram. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Minister. Your Excellency, you are an institution by yourself. And that is the reason I said that I admired you, because your wealth of knowledge. And I think today all of us must be sharing that admiration of knowing all the things you told us. My goodness, I have to take time to digest.
For joining late because I got stuck in traffic. I have just reached Calcutta. So because I was stuck in traffic, so I have no choice with me, and I've just stayed in a small office of my friend, and I'm doing this conference from here. So I'm not professionally, neither I'm professionally dressed like my ambassador, nor I'm in the professional environment like office. So I think you all will understand my my situation and bear with me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And you look fantastic. I would have loved the 2 Indian flags next to you, but we will invite you again for that. So you can be in your Indian attire, as well as the flags and whatnot. So we'll not let you go as easily. But I wanted to also share with you, the Embassy of India is very supportive of us. Ambassador Taranjit Singh Sandhuji. But today, joining us was Ambassador Dalila ji, who is the Deputy Chief of Mission. So I wanted to let you know that he is very supportive. And also the Consulate Office in Houston, Asim Mahajanji. Without them, I could not be doing what I do. So hats off to the Indian Embassy here. And I wanted to acknowledge them in front of you, His Excellency, Your Excellency, so that you know that they have been working hard, and especially during the COVID times, uh, they have put in more hours than they normally would. Day and night, they have worked to support the Indian community as well as community at large. And I wanted to acknowledge that in front of you as well. So, and please continue to stay with us, because the next company is fantastic. You would want to know, because they can do a lot of good work in India. They are one of the people from Charity Water, and Charity Water has managed to get $98 million. They get it from investors, and then they do good work across the world. And I'm hoping that I know they are doing some work in India, but they will be doing a lot more with this partnership that we have. Christopher Gorder is representing that, and he's joined the Charity Waters in 2012 to lead the organization's global water investments in 28 countries. Since its funding in 2006, Charity Water has raised more than 500 million. So I was a little bit short, a lot short, I should say, and provided clean water to over 11 million people. In his role as Chief Global Water Officer, Christoph also oversees technology innovations that increases transparency and long-term impact on clean water programs. Prior to joining Charity Water, Christoph, I feel like saying Christopher, sorry, I'm butchering your name. Christoph spent 15 years leading disaster response operations and managing large-scale healthcare delivery programs around the world. He grew up in the Central African Republic and Nigeria, where getting clean water is still a dream for millions. Christoph is married to Alicia, and who is a journalist and has 2 young children. Christoph, the floor is yours.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for inviting me. Good evening to our friends in India. Good morning to our friends in the United States. I'm Christoph. I'm from Charity Water, and I'm really honored to share some of our work with you today. If you can bring the slides up, I'll share a couple images with you, which will help you visualize what I want to do. If you can go to the next slide, that would be great. Okay, next slide, please. I'll just stand by until you get the slide up, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, great. Thank you. We are a nonprofit organization. We're an NGO based in New York City. Our mission is to bring clean and safe drinking water to every person who needs it. And our vision is to do that in a way that uses innovation to reinvent how charity work is done. And the adoption of technology and cutting edge technology has been a big part of our story. And I want to share a little bit of that with you today. If you can go to the next slide, please. We were founded 14 years ago, and in that time, we've provided clean water to over 50,000 communities across 29 countries. In India, we're active today in supporting clean water initiative in Rajasthan, Odisha, West Bengal, and in Bihar. And around the world, our focus has specifically been in rural communities, and we've learned a lot about the challenges of not just building water systems, but keeping water flowing for these remote communities for many, many years. And in our work, we've discovered that a very high number of rural water systems break down over time. And specifically, we have seen a really big problem with hand pumps, which are really pervasive in rural communities across many developing economies. So, you know, as we were going about our work and and encountering this problem where communities had gotten access to clean water, but then taken a step back when their system broke, we realized this was something that we had to do something to address this problem. And so this is the technology that I want to talk to you about a little bit today. In India, the Ministry of Water's estimates are that there are over 5 million hand pumps in the country. And we really applaud the Indian government's ambitious goal to put a tap from a pipe system in every rural household in India. It's a great strategy, and it is a huge undertaking given the size of your population and your country. So, you know, for some years to come, the hand pumps, the 5 million hand pumps that are out there, are still going to continue to be used and serving communities for some period in the future. And so keeping those vital assets working well is, we believe, an important part of the strategy of providing access to clean water to everyone in the country. If you can go to the next slide, please. The most common hand pump in the world and in India is called the India Mark II. That's the name of the model hand pump. And we've developed a remote sensor that retrofits onto the hand pump and uses cutting-edge technology that you would see in smart cities like Amsterdam or Singapore or New York to monitor urban utilities. It takes those cutting-edge IoT and cloud computing technologies and applies them to monitor the performance of the hand pump and connect these rural hand pumps to the internet. If you can go to the next slide, please. So here is a schematic of what the sensor looks like. It's that black object you can see on the side of the hand pump. It can be installed on it can be installed in less than 10 minutes. It requires no special tools. There's no calibration required. It has a pre-existing contract with every mobile phone company in the world. So as soon as it's installed anywhere in the world and 50 liters flow over the sensor, it wakes up, it finds the nearest cell phone tower and starts transmitting data from the hand pump. So, you know, drilling a borehole and installing a hand pump is an expensive proposition. And a hand pump becomes a highly valued asset for any community. So now, with a low-cost option like this, which costs less than 2% of the value of installing a hand pump, the hand pump can now become a connected device, connected to the internet, and it can be protected for 10 years using this device. If you can go to the next slide, please. Now that this data is available, it's available to governments, NGOs, local entrepreneur mechanics, researchers, and for the very first time, we can use the power of cloud computing and artificial intelligence to monitor thousands of locations simultaneously. It's our belief that this technology has the potential to revolutionize the reliability of water services for remote rural communities. It will help reduce downtime, it will increase accountability, and it will help us create new financing models that pay for results and pay for outcomes, and will encourage the private sector to get involved in rural water supply, which until now has really not been possible given the how fragmented the rural water supply landscape is. So, Your Excellency, thank you very much for inviting us to participate in this event. We're eager to share this innovation with the Ministry of Water for your evaluation and to see how this technology might be used for the benefit of the people of India. Thank you again for the opportunity to share this with you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Fantastic, fantastic presentation. And this is amazing what you just presented on the hand pump. Next speaker, we are running out of time, so I'm going to go a little bit fast on the intros. Is the Chief Program Officer for Water for People, which is Mark. I'm sorry, I think Steve is the next one. So let me go ahead and introduce Steve. Steve, if you can be ready, please. Steve Potts is the President and Chief Global Officer of Genesis System, a company dedicated to solving global and water scarcity problems. Retired Air Force Lieutenant General who has spent lifetime mastering the art of peaceful international affairs and national security strategies. I think Steve is a decorated fighter pilot that has commanded forces in the military at every level. He has extensive combat experience and every major operation since 1986. I would like to now present to you Steve Koss, please, with Genesis System.
Thank you very much. And as you put up the first slide, I want to tell everybody that in the pursuit of solving a military problem where we needed water security and water accessibility anywhere on the planet, we have stumbled upon an innovation that will matter to this crowd listening here. And it's elegant in its simplicity. But right now we are building the first unit for the Texas National Guard, the military in the United States, for emergency management, and it will eventually be on every base for resilient water. And the big idea is that we have found a way of detaching from the cable, meaning right now when you pick up your telephone, it is no longer connected to a cord because technology has allowed you to separate from that tether. We have found a way of cutting the pipe. Next slide. By drawing water out of air, as long as you have greater than 20% humidity, you can draw water out of the air at volume with low energy in, meaning you can do it with nothing but geothermal power and solar power. And as we stumbled upon this invention, we could see the need for this everywhere in the world because the condensed sources of water are too few. And as we move from 7.8 billion people on the planet and grow, and if we want prosperity and peace to be part of that journey, this invention can help the world usher in a new dimension of water where you can put this water generator anywhere in the world. You don't need any water source. You don't need to be next to an ocean, and you don't need any power grid. With solar power and geothermal, you can create all the water the people need at the point of need. It is water at the edge. And we can get rid of these big infrastructures and put the power of water in the hands of people anywhere. Next slide. This is how we do water now with desalination. And even though desalination can give you a lot of water, it is complex, it is expensive, and you have to use a lot of energy. Saudi Arabia uses 30% of its energy bill just for desalination. And then the toxic brine that gets poured back into the ocean that kills the ecosystem of our beautiful oceans is a tragedy, and it is unsustainable. And our invention will usher in a new dimension that will make desal be able to operate with no pollution and no fossil fuel going in. Next slide. What we do is as we looked for this problem for the military, we found that we used biomimicry. We looked at how Mother Nature solves this problem through evaporation. And we essentially, through the use of nanofluids and some very inventive engineers from NASA and from our federally funded research labs and universities around the world, we have built one container that becomes our cloud maker where we can create the moisture in the air and in liquids. And then we can desal that, and the liquid that goes in between the two stays in an eternal loop. So there are no consumables, there's no pollution. And as long as you have 20% humidity, you can turn on this machine and it will give you abundant water with low energy in. Next slide. So here are our two embodiments. The first embodiment is on the left, and that's for emergency management, like our military, where you can put a device like that anywhere on the planet and have up to 5,000 gallons a day with just the solar power or geothermal. But what we've discovered over the last 4 years of refining this engineering is that the fixed site becomes even more efficient. And we have not found an upper limit. We're at 10 million gallons a day right now using just geothermal and solar power. So you could build this next to the ocean and use the ocean as the heat sink, or you could build it anywhere inland. What this does is it now frees us from this dependence on a water source. We don't have to worry about pollution. We don't have to worry about filtering. You can literally build a machine for as small or as large as required for the people living in a location of their choice, not dependent on the access to a river, to an aquifer, to a well, or to the ocean, anywhere in the world, as long as you have 20% humidity. It is a new dimension of water, and I offer it to you as a way of solving the bigger problem, as we have been solving the smaller problem of the military and independent water access anywhere on the planet. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Steve. This was perfect. Not only India, but many other countries in the world are going to be benefiting from your technology. And I know that you said that you wanted to invite the minister in month of March when you roll out this technology here in the United States. So this is your chance.
That's right. So,
See,
Minister,
yes.
Purnimaji, here I wish to just intervene for a while only. I would like to appreciate the technology, and I just want to tell Mr. Steve that quantity and quality of drinking water is assured in the mission which we have taken to provide functional tap house to every household in the country. So we are interested in looking for such type of sensors which can monitor quality and quantity distributed in a household. And see, you can understand the scale that almost 200 million, a million households are going to be connected and to be provided water across 600,000 villages. So the scale is huge. If this type of low-cost sensors can be provided or developed, which can assess the quality and quantity, so it should be a really low cost because of the scale, and we are really interested into that. Thank you.
That is good. And Your Excellency, Prime Minister, we invite you to Tampa, Florida, when we deliver the first operational unit to the U.S. military. And what you will see is that sensor is already on there, because this distills the water out of the air. It mineralizes it so it's healthy. And so you never have to worry about pollution. You have the sensor right there, and you can build them as small as you need for a household or as large as you need for a community, and it can scale. So you come and see for yourself in Tampa, Florida. We will send you the invitation, and we look forward to helping with this problem of water scarcity globally using a novel technology that solves the problem in a totally different way that nobody else has really tapped into. They've either used air conditioning or solid desiccants or desalinization. All of them have regrets at either too much money or too little water. Thank you
so much. The next speaker is very known to India, Water for People. Mark was one of the early champions of Water for People, everyone, forever model, and believes in global water and sanitation crisis can end during our lifetime. He joined Water for People in 2008 and has been doing a lot of work as the head of the global program for Water for People. And like, as I said, they are very instrumental in one of your programs, Minister, that is Har Ghar Mein Nal Se Jal. So Water for People are working in rural areas also, and I would like to ask Mark to take the floor and let us know about what you're doing in India as well as worldwide. Thank you.
Thank you, Purnima, and good morning and good evening, Minister Shekhawat, also Ambassador Delela and the other presenters, including several of you whose organizations are supporters of Water for People. So Water for People is a global nonprofit that was founded in 1992 by the American Water Works Association that represents the North American water and wastewater sector, and has chapters in all 50 states and Canada. We envision a world where every person has access to reliable and safe drinking water and sanitation, and our impact model is called Everyone Forever. So we said everyone forever in about 2011. The world said universal and sustainable with SDG 6 in 2015. We said, great, let's find some people in these countries where we work who are as enthusiastic about this as we are, and let's see if we can model universal and sustainable. So if we can go to the next slide. Everyone means every family, every clinic, and every school. This means every single person, even the hardest to reach, the most vulnerable, the marginalized, has access to safe water and sanitation services. Our most important partners at the district level are local government. So before entering a new geography, we always seek commitments from local leaders to invest together to reach everyone in that geography, despite any differences due to politics or religion or socioeconomic status or ethnicity. So if we can go to the next one, forever for us means we're trying to provide support to set things up to keep water flowing forever without Water for People. So from the beginning, when we enter a new geography, we're thinking about what we need to do to be able to exit and not create dependencies on external aid. So we work to set up strong service authorities. In India, that's at the district and block levels. Service providers as well. In India, those are the GPs, of course, and also Jalabandhu. And then water resource management practices that do not depend on water for people. So we have a tool that we call the Sustainable Services Checklist. It has a set of metrics that we use to measure progress on forever together annually with these partners in the 9 countries where we work currently. So if we go to the next one, this graphic is our best representation of the Everyone Forever model and our approach, how we do that at district level. It's where we currently spend most of our time and money. And what our supporters like most about this, of course, is what they see on the far right, exit, right? So we're not an NGO that looks to come in and be there forever permanently. We're thinking about exit from the beginning. And that's proving to be a big challenge. We've learned pretty quickly that many of the district level challenges on forever cannot be solved without national sector strengthening and guidance. So we've established partnerships with state and national governments in almost all the countries where we work to address some of those challenges and also to scale up that model. So we can go to the next one. It should be our map. So this is where we currently work. Water for People previously worked in dozens of countries around the world, but we decided to narrow our focus on these 9 countries that you can see here, including India. By the end of this year, we'll be working in 40 districts across these 9 countries with piped water access being provided in most of those. So the last slide I have is just, it'll show you in India, where we currently work in Bihar, also West Bengal and Maharashtra. We've also applied recently to become a national sector partner for Jal Jeevan mission. And we plan to work closely with the districts to support them with common district level WASH plans, to which all of the governmental and non-governmental organizations working in those areas can contribute and align with JJM. So that's all from Water for People. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mark. This was wonderful. And just to let you know, Minister is in West Bengal right now. So you can always tell him to check you out.
Grace, yes, that would be great. Pat, feel welcome to stop by our office in Kolkata to meet the team there.
Thank you so much. Next speaker, I just love his technology. Swift Green Filters is the name of the company, and this gentleman is from Canada. So this company is situated in Canada. Ramesh Suriji is the founder member of Swift Group of Companies and has an engineering background and has experience of more than 40 years. I would like to say that founded in 2009 as a small water filter brand by brainchild of Suri family, Swift Green Filters currently manufacture 230 plus water filtration products. Swift Green Filters have developed state-of-the-art water filter media, and it's a one-of-a-kind technology advanced filter. And I'll let Ramesh ji give us an overview on what his technology is. And Minister, he would like to also bring an issue to your attention related to the research equipment that he was trying to take to India to sort of support India in this endeavor. Ramesh ji, floor is yours, please.
First of all, I want to thank you to His Excellency Gajendra Singh ji and Sudhakar ji, try to connect with us and try to help us to connect with India. And also special thanks to Purnima ji, who has worked very hard to educate us in this conference. And thank you to everybody else who is involved. There's a lot to learn from everybody. And I'm really glad that I'm part of this. Usually I shy away from these things and try to do my hard work, try to save humanity from water. I think to say that, try to make the water drinkable for everybody. So first of all, I want to tell everybody that I have worked very hard in appliance world, trying to innovate the point of use water filtration. We are award winner. We are the leader in technology to take 30 to 300 contaminations as well as virus. We were lucky that we were ahead of the curve before the COVID hit. So we developed the technology and we have certification for that. I'll show you in next slide. So next slide, please. So as you all know, there's lots of information you already know. Everybody knows. World Health Organization is saying that there's more sulfur in India in small villages than water sources. I agree with that. And I think there's also the 300 contamination, I just put a list there so you can all see that. This is not possible for anybody to take them out easily. And problem with this contamination is not just coming from the water, it's also coming in the transmission of water. So our focus is to focus on point of use filtration. Everybody can provide a good clean water, but does it get contaminated on the way? That is a big challenge. It does. If you go to Germany, America, Europe, India, anywhere in the world, the pipelines are 100 years old in most countries. Even current pipelines contain the lead and many other contaminations. Plus pipe breaks everywhere, and then the contamination gets into it. So my focus is that point of use is the only way to provide a drinkable water, and which will improve people's health. The fact of these chemicals are, people are getting slow brain, they're getting cancer, and they're getting all kind of heavy, health problem. So my focus is also, our main focus was when we started this, how to eliminate RO systems. RO system is the biggest problem in the world right now because it was easy to deal with it, right? So next slide, please. So there is many different ways of cleaning the water, as you all knows, but my focus is on RO systems. So the disadvantage of RO system is that 60 to 80% of the water goes in the drain. Okay, as Mr. said that water is very, very expensive. We can't find it. It's very hard to find the water. Well, if you can't find the water, why are you wasting it? So the great thing I heard about India is that the government of India has trying to put the ban on RO systems. So what is the solution? They haven't found many solutions, but I have solution. So Swift Green Filter has developed a filter which is, first of all, we're the first company who is environmentally friendly, tried to make all the raw material from agriculture source. We're one of the first one to use coconut carbon to make water filters. And we also trying to use some other chemicals which are environmentally friendly, so it doesn't affect people's health, plus give you clean water. Next slide, please. So just as I said, we got lucky just before COVID. We did not know COVID was coming. We were working on virus. So you can see that APMO is one of the American testing laboratory, which is similar to NSF and WQA. And they have done the test. You can see the results. We can take 99.97%, which we are trying to improve to 100%, next. So we're in the final stage of making 100%. We're trying to establish in India, and we're trying to create this additives in India with the help of small manufacturers. India has a lot of technology, but only need help from people like Gurjendra Singh ji to acknowledge them and to give them some support so they all can grow big. So we want to keep money, we want to create a technology in India and keep the resources and the money in India. I'm Indian, so I try to say, India is my country and I want to support India. So next slide, please. So Swift Green Filter is looking to invest 300 crores rupees and try to employ 300 to 10,000 people, as you know, direct and indirect, employment. This is because we're part of, we were born and grew up in India. Our devotion towards India is that, well, everything we have today came from India. So we want to give something back to India. So we're doing it more, not just for profit, we're doing it for how can we serve India back. We don't have a problem serving other countries. We have been invited by other countries like China to come and help with this technology. And we are working in U.S. as well. We have a large factory in U.S. We have a small factory in Canada. And we're trying to put a very large factory in India.
I'm sorry, we are running out of time. So if you want to pose the question on the tariffs issue that you had, I would like the minister to hear that, please.
Current issue is that we have been trying to work with West India and government of Haryana to set up a factory in India. And the biggest challenge I have is that importing see, it takes forever to develop a technology. Now the technology requires special equipment and machinery and small setup. Most of the listeners will tell you that. I want to import that whole setup in India so we don't have to recreate it. It takes 5 to 10 years to recreate that technology. And Indian government is asking for duty, which is approximately 28%. I think it's unfair because there's millions of people wants to invest in India. If they will bring the technology to India, how they can, how they can pay 28% duty? It used to be free. Under I think it's EPCG, I think EPCG scheme, it was free of cost.
The new machines are free, but if you take the refurbished machines, India is imposing 30% duty. Do I understand that correctly?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. I'm sure the minister will find what needs to be done and whatever policy changes. Let's leave it to him. And let's move on to the question and answers if the audience have any to the minister or the ambassador. Let's go with that. But thank you so much, Rameshi. I really appreciate your presentation. I'm so sorry that you're running out of time. Any questions from the audience for the minister? I had some questions from for the companies, but I think the companies have done a fabulous job of explaining their technology, and I think I'm not going to delve into that. But if there is audience question, we want to give audience a chance to speak to the minister, please.
One of the questions that I'll pose on behalf of the Denver Minority Business Development Agency and CARES Act Center, because we are tasked with helping small businesses, we have a number of private businesses that are here, including one that we're very familiar with Jacobs because of their work with the Minority Supplier Development Council. And so in that regard, I want to ask the question of the private businesses, what steps are you taking to work with minority businesses within the U.S. to make sure that they're included in these business transactions so that we are lifting all boats, not just in terms of making sure that the vital resource of water is provided, but also giving an economic lift by including those businesses as well?
Anyone wants to take a shot at that?
Hi, this is Susan Moisio with Jacobs. That's a great question. And so from the standpoint of how do we work with minority and small businesses, and part of it is that we bring them in on our programs and our projects, and Jacobs has a long culture of building teams, and they become part of the team. And our goal is that we train them as we train our own staff and the processes that we're doing. And then as the projects are completed, that company then has gained that knowledge and that experience, and then they can go forward with that. So thank you for that question.
Thank you very much, Susan. That was wonderful. I think the minority businesses of US, which is 7.8 million minority businesses, and now I think they are 13 million. A $1 trillion economy of US can definitely benefit from companies like yours for contracting opportunities and so forth. I have a question for His Excellency Gajendra Singh Ji. If you are there, please let me know. If I am a US company, can I bid for RFPs? Can I participate in the contracting opportunities? We have MSMEs. MBDA is just like a representative of MSMEs of United States. And they want to know that if there are any opportunities where they can have federal or state contracts. Could you shed some light on that, please?
Yeah, they can have, because India, most of the tenders, like big tenders, they are global in nature. any company around the world can compete and bid for those tenders, whatever tenders we are floating. And many of the international companies from all across the world, French, German, Israel, US, all companies are working hand in hand with us in water cleaning programs and drinking water supply programs, and simultaneously water treatment facilities. So they are always welcome, and we welcome them to work together. Thank you.
Thank you. That is one burning question that I had, because often companies ask that, and many times we here in United States can only take federal contracts if we are a US citizen. So there are some level of restrictions, and I wanted to know if India has any. But this is very good news for all of us in the United States that you gave us, Minister, that the companies can go to India, and India will embrace them with open arms, and they can compete. And if they have a technology that they can compete with, all the more better. How about joint venture opportunities? Is India interested in having joint venture opportunities to maybe have technology transfer with the companies like we presented to utilize the Make in India program and start manufacturing in India some of these hand pumps and so forth? I think that may be something also you may want to encourage.
Thank you, Purnimaji. As I have interrupted after this deliberation of the company providing technology, sensor-based technology for hand pumps. See, I don't see any very good future for the hand pumps in coming times in India, since we have started working on Jal Jeevan Mission, which assure the drinking water supply through taps to every household. But still, the functional hand pumps are going to give us alternative mechanisms. So that can be area of interest. But as I have commented in between, during after the deliberation, that any technology which can give us provide a sensors to assess the quality and quantity, and that too the low cost sensors, that is again an area of interest for us. And the technologies which can assure the sustainability of our sources, the mechanism which can be derived with the experiences and the partnerships, that is again an area of interest for us. And since our experience of partnership during in Jal Jeevan Mission and our sanitation program, the world's largest behavioral change program, was a wonderful experience, and we have learned a lot from our partnerships. So partnerships are always welcome. We are looking forward towards them. Our embassy can be contacted any point of time for that.
I would like to now say to this August gathering, thank you so much, everyone, for participating. Before I leave, I want to say one thing to you, Minister. We have Dragon Boat Festival here where corporations participate and they race. I would love to see that someday in River Ganges under your leadership. And
thank you.
Have them come and compete in India in the Dragon Boat.
We have already started working on dolphins and in the Ganges, and started creating a sanctuary for dolphin protection in River Ganges. So you are always welcome to see that. Thank you.
Wow.
I'm going to, but I'll send you more information, because this is something that happens in the United States, and it is just an amazing thing. It just kind of is good for team building between the government and the private sector and so forth. And I can assure you it's not going to pollute the Ganges.
Thank you.
Rather, it's going to do some good for bringing a collaborative effort together for everyone. Anyway, on behalf of MBDA, National U.S. India Chamber of Commerce, I must say that Ambassador Sam Zackham is the chairman of our board, as well as former Senator Mark Udall, and many congressmen and mayors that are supporting me in this Chamber of Commerce efforts to support the large and medium-sized corporations. Ambassador Sam Zackham was there, but he has a doctor's appointment, so I think he left. But I want to thank him because he is an ardent supporter of our chamber, as well as he loves India and has been supporting us for the last 15 years. This is our 15th anniversary this year. But I want to thank each and every speaker, and thank you, Your Excellency, for giving this opportunity. I am so grateful to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gajendra bhai.
Thanks, and have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.
On behalf of the Denver MBDA and the CARES Act Assistance Program, we want to thank each of you and His Excellency for joining us on today. We could not have put this event on without each of you, and so we definitely appreciate all the great information that has been shared. More importantly, I want to state that I appreciate, and I know that we all appreciate, the concern for our global community to attack this issue of water scarcity. We know that just like in India, where there are remote communities that need access to clean and safe drinking water, there are also urban areas and rural areas here in the United States that need the same thing. And this is an issue worldwide. So we are very appreciative of all of the talent and the compassion that has been expressed today, even in the comments from our guests that have been present as well, from the attendees. We thank you for sharing your knowledge and information in the chat session. Just a few points real quick. One, we will make this video available within 72 hours. Purnima will share that, and the video of this particular summit will live on the internet for the NUICC website, as well as the Mountain Plains Minority Supplier Development Council and Denver MBDA. In addition to that, we want you to keep in mind that even though we are facing this pandemic, if we all work together, we can accomplish anything. And His Excellency said it earlier, with the election of the Vice President of the U.S. and Kamala Harris. I think that is just an excellent example of where I believe we are headed in the future, and seeing people collaborating and coming together. Again, we are truly appreciative of each of you. This information will be available, and we will make sure that the contact information gets out to you as well. Thank you for attending today, and we pray that you have a phenomenal day, and we look forward to working with each and every one of you. Thank you so much.
Marvin, I would like to end this by extending an invitation to His Excellency